The Sikha we will be learning is in Likutei Sichas, Chelik Chavhei, the second Sikha to Parshas Bereishis. The Gemara sagt in Shabbos, the Gemara says in Sikha Shabbos, Haiman de Neilad b'chamisha b'shvah, if someone is born on the fifth day of the week, which means Thursday, Yegvar Gemel Chasodim will be a person who will do Gmilas Chasodim, will be kind to other people. My timer, what is the reason? Which means, what's the connection with Thursday? Because on Thursday, in creation, the fish and the birds were created. And, as Rashi explains, they don't have to work hard. They don't have to matriach themselves, bother themselves to get food, but they get food, the Eibishter makes it available for them. That means that they get their food from the kindness of Hashem. So since that's the day that they were created, where they get their food, the kindness of Hashem, anybody who's born on that day will be a Gemel Chasodim, will have this midah of Gemilas Chasodim. So the Rebbe says, Dafim Vashem, we have to understand. The Gemara says in Yevamis, Shleisha Simoni Yeshbu Mazu, there are three signs of a Yid who belongs to this nation, to the Yiddish nation. One of them is Rachmanim, that they have Rachmanis, they have pity, and Gemel Chasodim. They're people that do Chasodim. V'hainu, what does that mean? The midah from Gemilas Chasodim is beteva kol Yisrael to Desom. That the midah of being a Gemel Chesed, somebody who does Chesed, does kindness, is the nature of all the Yidden. And this is the Lashon in Ha'ara 4, it's the Lashon of Tanya, that it's a nature of the Yid. So Be'etzem Yid from his nature. He goes into a discussion, is it the nature of the Nefesh HaBahamis or the Nefesh HaLakis? But it's the nature of every Yid. Is Vosed Aruftu in them, Yehi Gever, Gemel Chasodim from Anela B'chamisha B'shvo. So what's the specialty that somebody was born on Thursday will be a Gemel Chasodim? Why is that different? What does that add? The Gabba der Midah from Gemilas Chasodim Shebeteva Kol Yisrael B'Tildusam. The Gabba der Midah of Gemilas Chasodim that all the Yidden have in their nature. So every Yid has a nature of Gemilas Chasodim. So what is more that if he's born on Thursday gets Gemilas Chasodim? So in Order 5, the Rebbe says, Pashtas, you could say that the Gemara in Shabbos is this Gemara Eide B'Mina Odom B'Chal Keilu M'Seilu. Maybe it goes on Goyim also. What we're saying is that the nature of a Yid is Gemilas Chasodim, but here we're saying Goyim. But the Rebbe says it still doesn't answer our question. So we see in the Gemara there it's also talking about Yidden. So it makes sense. That when he's born on Thursday, and that makes him a special nature of Gemilas Chasodim, applies to a Yid also. Because it would be less, so that must probably add to a Yid also. And the question is, what does it add? Every Yid B'Teva is Gemel Chasodim, does Gemilas Chasodim. So what does it add if he's born on Thursday? The Rebbe said the answer could be, the beer in them is nirmis in Loshen Rashi and Nizunim B'Chazdei Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The answer to this is hinted in the words of Rashi. Rashi says that the fish and the birds get their parnosa, get their food from the chesed of the Eibishter. What does that mean? The Yisrael, and Rashi is, with these words, trying to answer the question we asked. The Yisrael from Yechamisha Shemaisa Bereishis is the specialty of Thursday in the creation of the world, is was demelt at Meir Gimen Chasdei Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, then shined in the world, not Stam Chesed. The Chesed of the Eibishter is a Chesed Bli Gvul. It's an unlimited kindness. Vorn Keshem the Eibishter is Ein Sof, as is Anya Midas of Ein Sof. Just like the Eibishter is without a limit, is infinite, his Midas are infinite. So the Midah of Chesed of the Eibishter that shined on Thursday in the creation was Bli Gvul, which the Rebbe said in Order 6 is similar to what it says, that the 26 generations before Matan Torah, from the creation to before Matan Torah, they didn't do things that they deserved, things from the Eibishter, but they were, Gemara says in Psochim, Nizuni B'Chazdei Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They got their support, their food, from the Chesed of the Eibishter, which means, as it says in Chassidus, that Shekiblu Chayusim Epichinas Rav Chesed Shel Mayla Mishtal Shel, they were nizer from the Chesed Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is why the 26 times we say Heidel Hashem Ketev Kedel Mchazeh Kedel Mchazeh, 26 times connected these 26 generations, and they got their mezainis from the Chesed of the Eibishter, which means from the level of Rav Chesed, which is beyond the Seder Ishtalshalis. V'lochen Ericha Yomim. That's why they lived so long, because from the Eibishter's Hashpoah, from his Chesed, is unlimited, so it could be very, very big. So the chesed that the Eibishter was megala on the Thursday, in the creation of Thursday, was the chesed of the Eibishter. The Farge findet in the Minyan von Hariba Beyeser, the Minyan Hariba Beyeser, Dafkin in the Vroim Fiyem Chamishi, Dogim. That's why, where do we find there should be so many of that species? We find that what was created on Thursday, what was it? Fish. Like I said, there's a pasuk that says you should multiply a lot in the world, and it says v'yidgu from Lashon dog, fish, because fish multiply very, very much, and it's all connected because they got their chesed from the chesed shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Was dos birchas dogim is eich negei to the modem, and even though we're talking about the bracha to the fish, it has an effect on an influence on inyonim of the person. Wie die Gemara sagt, in Ksubis, the beginning of Ksubis, Psula Nisas Brevi, a virgin gets married, those time at Gemara got married on Wednesday, V'nivelas B'chamish, and she would be with her husband on Thursday, and they made a bedafke that should be that way, Hail V'nemer Be Brocha L'Dogim, because on Thursday there's a brocha for the fish. Even though on Friday of creation there's a brocha for the human being, for the person. We're talking about the marriage of a person. So it comes out from the Gemara, there's something special in the brocha to the fish over the brocha to the person. And that's why we want that the husband and wife should be together on Thursday when they get married. Because dafke by dogim is ladrinyan haribi. Dafke by fish, there is such a multiply so much. Like it says, they will be multiplied like fish in Kerev Oretz. But dosi the matorah from the soil, that's the purpose of getting married, to multiply. So we see that we want it should happen through Thursday because of the bracha to the fish. And this all comes because they were nisen from the chazet shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Rebbe in Orah 8 brings from the Marsha in Gemara Shabbos that the fish and the birds shegomel chesed imoyim the bedogim ve'efes little and bracha shlo yechasedim, that the Eibishter gave a special bracha for the fish and the birds that they should not be missing anything. So according to the simple pshat and Marshot means that the bracha made that they should not be lacking anything. Well, but the way the Rebbe learns pshat, if you could add, not only they shouldn't be lacking anything, there should be more than normal, more than regular. That's what it means, that the fish got the bracha, they should be more than regular because it comes from the chesed of the Eibush, the special chesed of the Eibush, which is the Mayim Mishtalshelis. Und das ist der Chilek zwischen dem, was Kol Yisrael seinen Geben Chasodim betivom und der Teva Gemilas Chasodim von Anela B'yem Chamish. And that's the difference with the fact that every Yid naturally has the midah of Gemilas Chasodim, legabe this extra nature that we said of Gemilas Chasodim that a person gets if he was born on Thursday. Teva Chesed B'Sifaram by Kol Yisrael B'Tol Deisom is Mitamidida B'Agbole. The nature of Chesed that every person has naturally from birth is with a limit. Ubepashtes, when I look at it very simply, it means, what does it mean with a limit? Misgreit zu ton chesed mit andere, you're ready to do chesed with others. Aber nicht in an Eifnam soll sein greit zu verbeken auf alle eigene Tzrochim. But not enough that you should have to overlook your own needs. Oder durchgehen zu lieb dem andere Schwierigkeiten. Or because of the chesed you'll be doing to others, you'll have other hardships. If you do chesed normally, you do chesed. But not enough that you should you suffer because of the chesed. But the one that's born on Thursday, Thursday we said shined the chesed of the Eibishter, which is Belig Vul, is by him the Teva chesed Umayla Magbola. So this is also by people. The chesed is beyond, person is born, that's what the Gemara means, will have this nature of chesed beyond limitation. Meaning, this haste, that means like this. Sein chesed is nicht nur wie viel Simons Monsich mit seinem Midas chesed. The chesed is not only how much it required through the midah of chesed. The midah means the attribute, but the word midah also was his kishmo, the midah bagbola. Midah means a limit, a measurement. So there is a measurement, a limit of chesed. And when you have chesed beyond hagbola, means that you go beyond the midah of chesed. The Gemara says that there's two things. Sometimes you do things not the best way, you could do it the best way. So even if you do it the best way, in this case, that's called kiboy lil me'avet, how much you have to do, it's still with agbola. L'mayla magbola means, and that's the special midah that you get, the special teva that you get, being born on Thursday, no mesiras nefesh of chesed. to go on Mesiris Nefesh to do Ches Onke Medida Vagbola with other limitations. But the Rebbe in the Order 18 nevertheless says, Staki, we're talking about the Maila of the Chesed of the Eibishter. But there's also a Maila in the other thing that the Eden have in nature, that they have the regular Midah of Chesed. And the Maila of what they have on Thursday is over that, and that one is Gamba Yom Musayim, that's also by Goyim, as we said before. The one of Thursday is also by Goyim. And this is something in addition to what they have als Neteva, and the Teva that they Eden have has a Maila also. We're talking about the other Maila, the Maila of Chesed B'li Gvul. But that has another, what's the other Maila? Kinyone Amazal V'chulu Shabbos Shom Inyonim Rak Shemelid Netiya Ksas L'Inyim Mesuyim. When the Gemara says in Shabbos that we're talking about, if you're born on this time, it's this, and born on this. If you're born on Thursday, you'll be a Gemel Chesed. It doesn't mean that they get this nature of Chesed. It's a Netiya. You get a tilting towards Chesed. You have more closeness to Chesed. That's what it brings from different Meforshim. But the good midas that you didn't have naturally, they push it have the good midas bepale. So there is a mile in that too. But what we're talking about here, what the Gemara says, that if you're born on Thursday, you have the mile of becoming a game l'chesed, that has another mile, that is the chazah shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that could cause a person, it's like only on the tia, it doesn't make you do it, it doesn't become your nature, but it causes you on the tia that you will be able to do chesed b'li gvul. The Rebbe continues, the Keilah of Chazeh Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaBilti Mugbal is the lineage from Bittul. This that we say that there is, the Eden, if you're born that day, you're able to take from the Chesed of the Eibishter, you have to be a Keilah for it. To take the Chesed of the Eibishter, which is B'li Gvul, just like that, you can't take it. A Yid is Mugbal, is limited. How could you take something B'li Gvul? For that, you need a Keilah, and the Keilah is the lineage from Bittul. It's the lineage from Bittul. If you have Bittul, then you're a keilah for that. And in order 20, the Rebbe says, we know, it says in Chassidus, the difference between chesed of Avram and chesed of Yishmael. Avram was chesed. Yishmael was also chesed, but Yishmael was chesed the klippe. And Avram was chesed the kedusha. Avram's chesed was, he was bottle, and that's why he did chesed. So he did chesed mamish to everybody. Yishmael was chesed, but not because of bittul. And the Rebbe in the Likutei Sichos that he quotes here, no, he broke for Likutei Torah, but the Rebbe in Likutei Sichos speaks about it, and the Rebbe says the difference would be that you have two types of people doing chesed. You can have a person that's because he's about chesed. You could have a rich man doing chesed because that comes from Gaiva. That's chesed Yishmael, as the Rebbe explains, chesed of Klippe. And Avram is chesed of Bittul. So the Rebbe says here in the Sich, in the Pnim also, that to have be a keilah to the chesed of the Eibishter B'li Gvul, the keilah is Bittul. Calls man der Odom feels sein eigener Metzies, because as long as you feel your own being, can by him nicht sein der Inne von Chesed for another Menschen believe in Lieder Vagbola. So you can't do Chesed to somebody else without any limits. Dafke b'sheres meshaseres mevatel sein Metzies. When a person nullifies his Metzies, his ego, fehlt nicht feel sein Ich und sein eigener Metzies. He doesn't feel so much the I, the himself, and all things that he wants. Can by him sein b'chol meitcha. Then you could have b'chol meitcha, which is the Meilam Lieder Vagbola. It says Chol Meitcha is always referred to as something beyond limitation. So if you're bottle, as long as you're a Metzias, you can't be a Keilah for Bli Gvul. Your Metzias is Gvul. You're limited. How could you take inside Bli Gvul? But if you unclothe yourself of your Metzias, then you could take the Bli Gvul. Und der meaning findet man nirmet by dogim. And also this we find by fish. Because we're saying, where was the singing of the Bli Gvul of the Chesed of the Eibishter on Thursday? Because that's what we see by the fish. We see the bittul by the fish also. They have the bracha of so much without an agbola. By them we see the bittul. The dogim sagen kol kulam mechusim b'mayim azevi azeh azezetzich mitzeim onzeim mitzias. They're mitzias hamayim amchasim aleim. They're in the water, covered with water. You don't see their mitzias. All you see is the mitzias of the water that covers them. And he says this is what it means. The Gemara says, as Mayim machasim aleim, the dogim the far is ein hore sheletas behem. Because they're always covered in the water, the Gemara says that's why there's no ein hore on fish. When high time is of Zay Sheire Birchas Hashem B'Yeser, that's why there's a bigger broch of Hashem to them, because as the Rebbe says in Orah 22, there's a Gemara that says, Ein broch Metzuya B'Dover Asomer Menayim, broch is only there. Hashem gives a brocha, something that's covered, something that everyone could see, there's no brocha. But Mela, the fish were always covered in the water, that's why they have a brocha and there's no ein hore. So Poshup Pshat is, it's the reason for no ein hore. The being covered is only taking away the problem of an ein hore, so no one could see it. But Yesh Leib, the Rebbe says, we could say Shebepnimius is Mayim Chasnalim. Deeper pshat is that when we say that they have the brocha because the water covers them, is nit nor shelel the shlita nine nor hepech habrocha. It's not only that, and therefore it takes away the possibility of something negative of a nine hora. Not that nor echpeil in chayuvi. It causes something positive. Durch them seine the dogim royim mekelim tzibirchas Hashem. That's why the fish fit to the brocha of Hashem. Because as we said, to have the special brocha of Hashem, blig vul, you have to be bottled. And by the fish, they have this bittel that's covered, means that they are bottled. But here, where do we see that being covered means that they're bottled? So explains it. Water is the source of life of the fish. Like it says in order 23, like the Gemara says in as soon as they leave the water, they die. So water is the source of the life. And that is their true being, is the water. But the far halter Shimon Gamliel as kol shem brias hamayim is nit chetzet b'fnei hamayim. That's what Shimon Gamliel holds. It's a Mishnah Mikvoyos that anything creature from the water is not a chtzitza. Like this, if you go tvila and there is something separating between you and the water, it's a chtzitza. It's a separation, and the tvila is no good. But if the separation is done by something that's made of water, that comes from the water, like if a fish, let's say your fish is touching you and blocks the water from touching that part of your body, it's okay, it's not a chtzitze. Because the fish itself is water. Das heißt, as dogim haben sich atchune from bittel zu moker chiyusim. That means that water, fish have this quality of being completely bottled to the source of their life. When their father is by zeifaran, that's why they have so much more than regular. And he quotes in order 26, the Torah of the Magid, the Mizricha Magid, Malachim nitzchim yesem, and the Shomas, the Magid says, why Malachim for infinite, no limit to their existence, more than the Shomas? Because they have more bittul than the Shomas. That's what he says there in Torah, etc. So we see it's the same idea, that you get a lot, you get more. Why? If you're more bottle, there's more that you get. So the Malachim get longer time. But the fish, they get a lot more ribui, not blikvul pshuta begashmis, but a lot more than regular because they're bottled. Well, there is naveda sodom. Same thing about a person is aveda. Today to made sein basiert dem emerson hersten even von mills chasodom chesed bli agbole, in order to awaken within yourself the true highest level of milas chasodim, which means kindness without a limit. Was if arbun mit chesed shel Hakadosh Baruch Hu, as we said before, that connected to the chesed of the Eibishter. Fordert sich der Aveda zu peil sein basiert and bittel to the Meibishten. For that you should cause to yourself to be completely bottled, nullified to the Eibishter. Und das ist Teichen Kavanosse shel Rashi b'Pirushi auf dem Posik Beisit Bokun. This is the real depth of the pshat. What Rashi says on the Posik in Parsha Re'ei. It says with Beisit Bokun you should cleave, you should connect to Hashem. So Rashi says, Hadbeg b'drochov, connect. How do you connect to Hashem? Connect to His ways. And Rashi gives the example, Gmeil Chasodim, do chesed, Kmei Shos HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like Hashem did. So here we see that Rashi connects, being certain Gmeilas Chasodim, is connected to being Dovik and Eibishter. That means, B'shas Ha'id in the Eibishter, and Nathan from Beisit Bokum, and Ha'id serves Hashem in the form of Dveikus, of connection. He peils on himself to be really, really connected to the Eibishter. So much so that you don't feel your Metzias. You only feel the Eibishter, who is the one that you are connected to. Automatically, you will do. Rashi says, do Gemilas Chasodim like the Eibishter did. So the way the Rebbe teaches now, meaning to say do like the Eibishter did, means that Chesed, that's L'mayla Magbola, that's Chazeh Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Chesed believe Nidiv Magbola. How does it come? Because if you're Dovig, you really bottle, then you're Akela to this Chesed Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the Bligvul. And then the Rebbe says, Kol ha'nal ha'ashayches michedes l'dereina. All this is connected to our generation. Why? The Inyan Meyuchad Anal for Dogim is verbunden mit Yosef Atzadik. This Inyan that fish have the special midah is connected to Yosef Atzadik. Yosef, the bracha v'yidgul rei b'kerev horetz, gizog yavar b'shaychus ubnei Yosef. The bracha that you should multiply like fish was set in Chumash to the children of Yosef. And with the Gemara Zog, the Gemara says in brachas, the far is ein hara shelet is by zara shel Yosef. That's why there's no ein hara by the children of Yosef, because they're compared to fish. By fish we said there's no ein hara. Rabbi Yochanan said, I'm a descendant of Yosef, of the children of Yosef, So there's Ein Hora can't have control over him. He can't do anything to me. So B'meila, this is connected to Yosef. So the sinyan of what we're explaining by the fish, that no Ein Hora is there, and the pshat is more than that, that they have the chesed b'li gvul, etc., that is connected to Yosef. Und das ist die Scheiches al der Reine Zeh. This is the connection to our generation. Was great Gedushas Meire B'chomi Admur Nasi der Reine Shmei Arishon Yosef. That the Rebbe says, my father-in-law, the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Nasi of our generation, his first name is Yosef. So whatever we said about Yosef before is connected to him. Where is the similarity between the Frierdiker Rebbe and Yosef? So the Rebbe says that Hogef and Kvedishas Meir V'Chami Admur is given in an Eifen for Yidgul Rebbe Kerev Oretz. The behavior of the Frierdiker Rebbe was in the same form as the Yidgul Rebbe to multiply a lot amongst the earth, in the earth. Where do we see that? He spread the wellsprings of Teres Achsidis very widely. On came Medida without any limitations. In a way that it should reach every place. Also, Bekerev Oretz, simple Pshat Kerev Oretz means amongst the earth, all over the earth. But the Rebbe teaches Bekerev Oretz means inside the earth. In the Teichias von Eretz Varas is in the inside of the Eretz of the earth. And earth doesn't only mean earth physically. It means earthkeit, earth things. That means Gashmias, Chumris, Grobkeit. That within the he brought Chassidus in a place which is very low. Bis zum Tachten, Shem Tachten Lamata Menet, to a low place which is the lowest that you could think of. The Loshen HaYidua, the famous Loshen, Yefutzah Vanesecha Chutzas. The Mashiach told the Baal Shem Tov that when will he come? When your mayonis, your well springs will spread chutzah. What does chutzah mean? To the outside. How far outside? So in the chutzah, shen chutzah, no matter how far. Could be the lowest, the furthest chutzah. But you have to go there. And that's what the Frierdiker Rebbe did. And at the same time wasn't afraid of bad eye, meaning Mayem Rabbis. In our case, it means, what will people say? Like Nomet Yisrael, why should you still do things that people will have what to talk about? He didn't care. He did what he had to spread Yiddishkeit, to spread Chassidus, as he's saying. And this is the Robe Pale, this is the lesson. We have to get involved in spreading this wellsprings of Chassidus outside with the greatest width, broadness. That the wellsprings of Baal Shem Tov should reach everywhere. And this is the Ligvul that you're going far. And as we said before, it's connected to Bittel. And when you're in the form of Bittel, which is based in Bokum, by being connected to Hashem, and one of the ways you connected to Hashem was based in Bokum, connected to Chacham. That's a different place in Gemara. One place the Gemara says, what does based in Bokum mean? That Hadbek b'midesav, do his midas. But another place it says, be close to Talmid HaChomim. So this is all connects, saying that the Frierdiker Rebbe was like that, and if we're connected to Frierdiker Rebbe, we're able to also have that basic Bokun, and have that Bittel, and B'meila have the Blikvul. Since we're connected to the Rebbe, we have no fear of Ein Hore, certainly not for other hardships. Und of them, was mis mamale bezrizes the shlichus von Yevchutza man sech chutza by us fulfilling strongly this mission we have of Yevchutza man sech chutza, but makoyim ver noch schneller bezrizes, it'll be even faster fulfilled. Bezrizes the haftocha from Melech HaMashiach to Baal Shem Tov, the promise of Mashiach to Baal Shem Tov, as Yevchutza man sech chutza ka'os yimad Malka Mashiach. That when that will happen, the wellsprings of the Baal Shem Tov will be spread out outside. That's when Mashiach will come. B'mheiro b'yameinu mamish.